See, Doug, I know you have been watching this campaign so carefully over the past 18 months, if not more. What are your thoughts about where we stand right now?
Sharing it.
If you're right now part of the Hillary Clinton campaign, they went into this election day and the days leading up to it with a real sort of spring coming back into their step. It's obviously been a real roller coaster ride throughout this campaign, a very long campaign. The polls have swung wildly throughout, and what had been a double-digit lead in some cases for Hillary Clinton back in the summer obviously became a very narrowing race as scandals sort of swung back and forth from Donald Trump and videos to then the resurrection of the email scandal, which Hillary Clinton had put behind her. And basically, you had a sense in the past few days, at least if you were to believe all the pollsters who were often relying on an aggregate, that is, taking many, many different polls, not just one single poll, taking an average of them to try to, with a greater degree of certainty, to establish what Hillary Clinton's margin was in certain very key battleground states. And I think from where we stand tonight, at least in the early count, and it's not even that early days anymore, a much stronger, seemingly stronger than expected showing by Donald Trump in some of those states where perhaps the Clinton people thought that they would have had a much more stronger buffer, a stronger margin. In those states now where perhaps she was given a 3 to 4 point lead in the polls, 2.5 point lead, we're always talking about the margin of error, and it looks like that margin of error really is kicking in and becoming a reality in some of those cases tonight with it's coming down to a razor wire in a lot of the key states that will be needed to win this race. As you know, we're still hanging on there in Florida. They're both campaigns looking at that race. North Carolina, these are the states that we were really all talking about going into this race. But regardless of, where it stands at this hour, as every guest you've had on tonight has been saying, it goes even beyond the polarization. We have a radical, I won't call it a civil war, but we have such a visceral division right now within America, such a radically different worldview, as if you had two electorates existing in different matrices, if you will, and their approach to the issues, to the way they perceive what's going on in the world. It's almost difficult to look beyond what will happen after this election, regardless of who the victor is. And we were speaking briefly earlier about just the initial reaction, people looking in from the outside. The markets already, the futures on the stock markets way down. As the reality kicks in, that there is a prospect, perhaps a stronger prospect than originally thought, on the eve of this election, that President Donald Trump, is becoming, if not likely, at least something now that is plausible, given the way this voting is going in the early to not so early stages tonight.